experiment was if I started playing a file, it wouldn't stop ever. So I was like, okay, I guess Riverside is just playing all 40 minutes of this episode now. So I don't know if this is the right one or not, but I guess we'll find out live.
Yeah, excellent. Great.
Hello and welcome to Behind the Locked Doors, a guest bedroom podcast sometimes, which is apparently what I'm doing right now. I am Scott Paladin. I am working on a horny werewolf audio drama called It Takes a Wolf.
Hi, my name is Sam Stark. I'm not lucky enough to record in my bedroom. That would be amazing. Or even the spare bedroom would be so awesome.
You have an actual booth, though.
I know. Sometimes it's not very comfortable,
What do you mean
though.
so awesome? I wish I was in a spare bedroom.
when you're recording a podcast with your buddies, though, like I feel like the correct way to do that is like on a couch or like in your bed or something. And I'm like,
the vibe.
So professional.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do stuff. I do editing and things right now that are not As in West, which is the project that I'm supposed to be working on right now, which is a spinoff of Unspeakable Distance. Yay.
Yay. I'm Jack, and I'm also supposed to be working on Unspeakable Distance, but actually what I'm doing is preparing for a bunch of art markets in the summer. So
yay.
I'm busy with that. Yay, but that's okay. We can still talk about it. Okay, so Scott, you were like in the group chat with evidence that you've been doing your homework, so I want to hear about all of that.
Yes. So I'm working on the rough cut for episodes 1 and 2, and the assembly for episode 1 is now done. Every audio file, every voice audio file that is going into that episode is done. I guess I didn't do the intro and outro stuff yet, but I got to figure out what that's going to look like. So, but like all of the actors and stuff are in there, and I need to do a timing pass and all that stuff still. But I've made more progress in the last week than I did in the previous 6 months. So we're going to call that a win.
That is totally a win. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. How about y'all? How are you doing?
I've done really good on the stuff that what was my homework last time? Was it like finishing a book or something? I hope it was, because that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I did.
That's what I did. I finished a book for a Kickstarter, and so it actually gets to go out on time for the backers. So that's nice.
Yay.
I was actually just doing, just now, I was doing the final edits on it, and then I completely forgot that we were recording today, so I'm glad you Discord.
It's all good.
Well, yeah, we're on the off week, because last week we're all like, can we get an extension, please?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody is like, teacher, can I have another week?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are all the teachers, so we were like, yeah, we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. I did all the stuff that I said I was going to do, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the hell it was, it got done. What I said I was going to do was support Sam, and I don't even know that I did that, but I'm here.
Just existing, Jack. You support me by just existing.
That's support.
Yeah. I'm preparing stuff for TAFCon, so I'm like doing productive things that are not working on As in West right now.
Apparently sitting on the bed with Twig is like how he behaves. Normally he would be crawling all over me, but now he's just like sitting nicely.
He's just sitting.
You've discovered the trick. You have the key.
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate thing is that this is the guest bed, and now he knows that he can get on it. I don't know if he knew. I don't know if he knew that he could do that before. That was allowed.
But he's learned.
So I think I'm going to find him down here a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what Pretty Boy does. Like if we ever tell him, like if I ever let him get on the couch, then that couch is now free reign forever.
That's his couch.
And so like you come downstairs and he's been sleeping on that all night, but whatever. That's what
having dogs is.
That's what the couch that the previous owners of this house left us is for.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a dog couch, 100%.
That is for sure a dog couch. Yeah, it's one of those big sectionals with like the chaise lounge on it on the side, and it's just like, this can get covered with dog hair. Nobody will care.
That's for dogs, 100%. That's for dogs. We need to get a sectional couch so bad because Daphne always wants to be laying on the couch with us, but facing the same direction we are, and she's long because she's a dog. So she's always like, how do I arrange myself so I can like look the same way you guys are looking? And we're like, I just need to get you a sectional that you can lay on.
Yeah.
So bad.
I was such a proponent of having like a dog couch and a human couch when we first got our dog, because
such a great concept.
I mean, thank you. Thank you for validating my feelings. But like, our dog is not super sheddy. She's got like short hair. She's not that bad. And we have a lot of cats. And so everything is covered in cat hair. But I know that a couch is like different. A couch is, if the dog is going to lay on it and roll around on it and stuff, not only is it going to be hairy, but it's going to be pretty dirty. And we just don't have the kind of couch that's very easy to clean. So when we first got our dog, especially when she was a puppy, I was like, can we please keep her off the couch? And so I did a pretty good job of keeping her off the couch. She was never on the couch when I was around, but then I would come downstairs and everybody was sitting on the couch with the dog. So I was like, okay, you guys. So this
is a team project. We have to all be on the same page.
And so then when we were getting ready to go, I think it was like a funeral or something. Oh. And both my partner and my youngest daughter sat on the couch and stood up, and they were covered in dog hair in the back, wearing their black. And I was like, I just want to take this moment to not say I told you so, because that would be a thing that only a jerk would do. So we had to like roll them and everything. So now we've made a compromise where we do have a sectional couch. And so like there's one part on the couch where it's like Erza's cushion, and she can sit there.
The dog zone.
Exactly. Yeah. And we put like a blanket on it and stuff, and it's so much nicer now because it's like she also has like the gland, like the gland in
the butt gland. Oh my god!
And we call it butt juice. And so like
yes, we do too.
Yeah, she'll like lick and she'll like clean it up. But when she cleans it on the couch, she gets it on the couch. And so
the stank does not come. It is like atrocious.
It's just fish forever. So now that we have it sort of contained, it's way easier to control it.
But anyway. Daphne will juice her butt on any soft surface. She likes to do it on my nice rug. She likes to do it on the rug by the back door, like our couch, wherever. And I'm like, girl, outside. Go in the backyard and juice your ass out there. Like, why do you got to do it on my couch?
It's so gross.
For the love of God.
Yeah. Sorry for that interlude.
Bad, actually. I love them, but they're so gross.
They are gross. They're really gross.
The percentage of this podcast that is just us talking about animals is not zero, and that's a feature, not a bug. As far as I'm concerned.
You're welcome.
Audience members, that's the content they crave as well. I'm sure they're sad that it's not a video podcast, so that we can turn the cameras and stuff.
I wish you could see Twig. I wish you could see him. He's so
such
cute.
A cutie.
Yeah, he's a little speedy. So I didn't bring up topic like we normally do. So unless you guys have something that you wanted to cover or questions or whatever, then we will move on. I guess. I don't
know. Good question.
We could talk about, since TAFCon is coming up, we could talk about con things, because I just did a bunch of cons.
Sure. Yeah, please do.
And like I would love to just discuss like at least your guys' thoughts on attending a con that has to do with things that I don't mean Comic-Con. Comic-Con is like, huge, and it has all like this really popular stuff. I'm talking about like smaller cons that are like specific to like your niche interests. Because I just did a very small local sci-fi fantasy convention, and it's mostly tailored to writers and I guess mostly writers of all kinds of things. And then there was HorrorCon, which is also, it's way bigger, but it's still really niche technically. And like going to a con as a just being there as a con goer as opposed to being there as a guest or a panelist is so different. And I just what are your guys' thoughts on like conduct or whatever? Because I am. Okay, conduct is the wrong word. I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on like people that do panels? Like when you go into a panel at a con, you expect the panelists to like at least have some idea, like some experience in what they're talking about. So like, what is
presumably.
What is the level of experience that you at least? I don't want to say required. That's kind of a shitty word, but like. What do you like to see when you look at you're like, oh, this is a cool sounding panel, and then you look at the panelists, and like, what do you like to see? Like, what kind of panelists do you like to see? Basically,
that's a really good question. I'll caveat by saying that I haven't been to that many conventions.
I also haven't. Weirdly.
I've been to a couple of. I think I went to a couple of PAXs, and I've been to a couple of smaller ones. so my experience is that whenever I look at panels, unless it's something like specifically that I'm going for, like, oh, this is the people from a show that I know, that's something like that. I mostly it's what I'm looking for is the content rather than the panelists, because usually the what will draw you in is, you know, the tagline and what the description is. And then the times that I have been disappointed in panelists is not usually based on anything to do with their credentials, but rather do they have a point of view that is interesting, which is not like a thing that you can like even somebody who's written a ton of books may not be able to talk and communicate properly about them. So there's like almost nothing about like you could look at a resume or anything about the person, Wikipedia, like nothing about a person will tell you whether or not they're a clear communicator, unless they're doing that as another job. Like, I guess by that logic, a YouTuber or a podcaster probably has a better panel presence than somebody who is just straight writing or something like that, just because there's a little bit of performance and communicating live that's different. And so it's always been kind of a crapshoot, really, about whether or not somebody's going to be good or not. Because again, it's mostly about like, do you have something interesting to say, and can you communicate that like well? And that's just something that, you know, like that's like almost an X factor in that way, you know?
And can you take turns, and can you like hold a discussion with other people? Because I've had it happen, I think, where you go into a panel that has, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 people on it. Oh my God, Mike is here.
Oh my God, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hello. Sometimes you go into a panel with 3, 4, or 5 people on it, and maybe there's like a moderator and several people being kind of interviewed or whatever. And some of those people, you can tell they're really good at like giving like sort of succinct answers that will lead other people into their talking points and like sharing space and sharing time in that way. And then some people who would just plow on ahead talking about themselves indefinitely until another panelist or the moderator is like, okay, and let's move on to the next thing. So I think there's some amount of like knowing how to like answer those questions in a more collaborative way or in a more like discussion based format than just like if you were being interviewed solo. Do you know what I mean?
Mike, my question, well, not really a question, it was just I wanted thoughts on like when you go to a con and you like see a panel that you're like super excited about, or really it doesn't have to be a con, it can be anything. And if you look at the like details of the panel, what are you looking for in like the panelists, or does it matter, or anything like that?
Also, welcome. Hi,
hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm very sorry. I'm very late.
You're
It's okay.
Totally.
It's okay.
This is the High Chaos podcast. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Like we're glad you're here at any time.
You're here. That's the important thing. That's great.
I'm grateful to be here. I want to chime in and say kind of like the thing I look for most at con panels and stuff is the ability to ask not a question but a statement in at least 5 parts. Whenever I'm so, as long as I can do that and make it about me, then that's fine.
Perfect.
Then that's fine.
So you are exactly the panelist that we were just talking about that we don't want to see.
Is the format such that every person who goes up to the mic is auditioning to be on the panel themselves?
Yeah.
That's horrific.
It's where I want to be.
The reason why I asked the question is last year, so like actually more than a year ago now, because we just had the con again, we had a influx of like people that wanted to be a panelist really bad, but didn't have any experience in the stuff they were talking about, which again, Scott, you made an incredible point. If you can hold a good conversation and you can ask good questions, who gives a shit? But we had like this weird, just, I don't know, probably 20-ish panelists, just people that came in and just really wanted to be part of the like panelist community, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to come in and sign up for fan fiction panels and you've never written fan fiction, that's sort of weird. I get like being really into it and loving fan fiction and knowing all the tropes and understanding like the community and stuff. You can totally be a moderator if you do that, because you can ask the panelists all the questions because you understand the industry. But the fact that we had a bunch of people that had never written fan fiction before in the fan fiction track being panelists was very odd. And
okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
that never even would have occurred to me that someone would sign up in that way.
Yeah. And so that's
strange.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. We had a bunch of people, and it wasn't just fan fiction. It was just people that were signing up to be on the panels because they like the thing and they wanted to talk about the thing in front of people. And a couple of them worked out really well because they, again, like Scott said, were great at talking with people and being in front of a crowd and asking great questions. But we had so many people that like would just sit there and then like answer the questions that were asked of them and give very sort of two-dimensional, weird, I've never actually done this before answers. So it just drove me crazy. And
that's wild.
And then of course you have the other side of that where you have also what you were talking about, Scott, where you have people that are actually very experienced in the thing. I was on a couple of BDSM panels, and the actual, like, I don't think she's the track lead, but I think she's one of like the big voices in it. She's very experienced. She's a really wonderful person, very sweet. But she would just sort of let the panel meander, and she wasn't a very good moderator. Like, she didn't keep it going with questions and stuff. So there's like a spectrum of this.
Yeah.
This is maybe one of the few places, because most of the times I would think of a pre-interview period being almost useless. Like, there's like a job interview. I don't think you actually get anything out of a job interview because that has nothing to do with the job.
Yeah.
But seeing if they can communicate in like a conversation about the thing might be a litmus test that might actually be applicable here, because you could get them to do the thing that you actually need them to do, and you could find out
in front of an audience, right?
Yeah. Well, and like I feel like you could almost tell in 5 minutes, right? Where you just be like, you don't even need to schedule a long thing. You could just be like, hey, let's get on a Zoom call for a couple of minutes, and just be like, let me ask you about your experience, and then what you're not actually caring about their answers in the terms of like the content as much as like, are they actually communicating well? Do they like pass off? Do they just ramble? Do they try to bowl you over? Stuff like that might actually be useful. And this is like one of the few cases where that might actually be the case.
Yeah. You might actually want to interview potential panelists, especially if they don't have experience paneling or don't have experience in the field. That's actually so bonkers to me that someone would go, I want to be on a fan fiction panel, but I don't write fan fiction. Okay, I could see it maybe if you have like a panel of several people and you have most of them are writers and maybe you have one really dedicated reader in there who's like there for a different perspective point. That's one thing. But if the whole panel is people who don't write fan fiction, now I'm confused.
It wasn't,
like, what are we doing?
It wasn't like the whole panel, but we had like 2 people on a 4-person panel that had never written before, and then another one was the Slash panel, and it's like the history of Slash, and it's really interesting. And we had one person on there that writes fan fiction, but not Slash fan fiction. And I was like, that's a kind of a different thing. Like, why are you here?
Yeah,
what is
interesting.
happening?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, how did you think this was a good idea?
And I understand loving a thing so much that you want to like get up in front of people and talk about it. And obviously all these people were extroverts. They just wanted to get up and talk to people.
Yeah, that may be the real thing.
But like, if you don't have any actual expertise, and really I say expertise very loosely, I'm talking like, have you written a fan fiction, that kind of thing. And it's not, I was also on the Frankenstein panel, and like I don't have quote unquote experience with Frankenstein, obviously I'm not like a scholar, but I was in the regarding Frankenstein. Yeah. And so I've played a character in a production of it. I've read the book several times. I've watched all the movies. So I can at least come to it with like, I have performed part of it. I've had to really kind of think about it deeply, that kind of a thing.
That's experience.
Yeah.
Like that's like
experience.
Yeah,
okay,
like,
cool.
Not only have you read it several times, but like you had to engage with it in a way that was different than maybe the other people on the panel, because you were focusing on a particular character and how you would perform it and stuff like that. And that is a very different perspective than trying to write a Frankenstein story or being a scholar of Mary Shelley or anything like. And so like, no, this is what I was talking about with the phrase I used was point of view, where like you had a point of view on Frankenstein because you were involved with it. You had something to say about it, and your perspective and that point of view is unique because it's yours, but also because you did something different than the other people might have done. And I think that's great. That's a very different kind of thing than like
that's
experience
what you want
or credentials. Yeah. Like you want somebody who has like something to say about it and can offer something that other people wouldn't necessarily
a different perspective. Yeah.
I think the Frankenstein panel is a really good presentation. That's not the word, but example. It's a really good example of nobody on the panel was like, I directed a movie of Frankenstein, or like I wrote part of it, or whatever. We were all just lovers of Frankenstein, and we had the science guest of honor for the con actually as our moderator. So she was very organized, and she was really just super smart, good questions, and everybody just had a really deep love of Frankenstein. And so that's like a really good example of a bunch of people who speak well in front of people and might not necessarily be quote unquote experts in the thing we're talking about, but at least we asked good questions and we had a fun discussion and we had like audience participation and stuff like that. So it can go both ways. I'm a little bit frustrated with how like the cons in at least my area of Washington, like Seattle-ish area, are just sort of like, whoever wants to come and do a panel about whatever, it's great, it's fun, and it's sort of
I think it's fine to like market it as a fan panel. So you're saying like everybody who's up here doing this are not like experts, they're not like industry professionals. They're just here to talk about a thing they like with other people who like the thing.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, right? Than being like, we're doing a fan fiction panel that's about writing fan fiction, and also the people sitting up here don't write fan fiction. Like, I'm hung up on that. That's just bonkers to me.
And you can go a long way just by setting expectations correctly. Like if the panel is promised as, this is a fan panel, this is a bunch of people who love this thing who are going to talk about it. The phrase that came to mind, which is now going to curse my brain, is an acoustic podcast.
An acoustic podcast.
Then that's what the audience is signing up for. Then great, And if it's advertised as, here are industry professionals talking about ins and outs of minutia about insider baseball about an industry or something like that, then like you want to have people that actually do that. It's as long as the panel itself is presented correctly, then there's no right or wrong answers. But definitely the audacity of somebody to sign up for a thing that was like, I don't do it, I don't have anything to do with it, but I just want to talk about it.
That's so funny.
You get stuck in list panels if you do that too much. You'll you come into the panel and the description is like taking apart the tropes of pregnancy in horror or something, which was a great panel. But
sounds great.
if you don't have people that have that either have like knowledge of horror movies, or they either have not been pregnant or know somebody close to them that's been pregnant or something like that. They don't have any experience in pregnancy in any way. Like it's probably not the panel for them. So I don't know. It was just, it's been bothering me for a while.
People are notoriously bad at self-selecting.
Yes.
If you've ever run auditions for an audio drama, you're aware how bad people are at self-selecting out of something.
Yeah. Well, like there's the combination of like, some people are too self-selecting. They think to themselves, oh, I'll never be appropriate for whatever this thing that I want to actually volunteer for, even if they would be good. And then you have the people who are like, I'm just going to sign up for everything because I feel entitled to do all of it, I guess. I don't know. That's probably being very uncharitable to the people who, especially our auditioners, who I've always encouraged everybody to audition for everything. So I don't want to...
Not in our specific circle of productions, but in audio drama generally as a space, I have noticed like... And like heard from other friends who are in the space, like cis white straight men do be signing up for everything, like including the roles that are like, we need a black woman. They're like, great, that's for me. Did you read?
No, they did not. Absolutely not.
People don't read. You just have to assume that people don't read.
Yeah. That's true. They don't.
Okay. Well, real quick, let's check in with Mike because
Mike, how are you?
You weren't here when we did our check-ins.
It's fine.
No, but like we want to know. Have you? How are things going for you? You were in a not great place when we talked before, but I want to hear from you now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've been on so many panels recently. Like it's very hard to kind of keep track of what work I'm doing. Like places where me as as a white mostly straight cis male, have been representing the PFC community, and just taking it upon myself to make sure their voices are heard.
Really taking a lot of
through my
time
own
recently.
It's just very difficult.
It's rough out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm never going to be on a panel ever. But that means there's more time to write, and lo and behold, there has been time to write. I have, of time of recording, written about 5 episodes of a thing.
Oh my God!
Nice.
You're zooming.
Structure is going to be a little bit of an issue, just because everything isn't quite landing exactly where I needed it to. Like the big flashback I was hoping to include in episode 1 has turned up in episode 4.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So there may be a lot of kind of going back in it and kind of going, okay, where is the actual start and end point of these episodes in a way that makes them feel, whole and, satisfying, rather than just a stream of consciousness.
Can I propose one single 10-hour episode?
Oh my God.
At the moment, that is not out of the bounds of possibility.
Heck yeah.
Scott, do this crazy thing, and Mike's like, don't test me, I might.
Yeah, it's I'm barely in control of this train, all right? I can keep the engine going, but it's on tracks that I do not control. So it's
the Wallace and Gromit shit. It's the Wallace and Gromit of putting the tracks down on the train.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Wallace and Gromiting this bitch.
So we'll see where it turns out. But the momentum is good. Like when I'm writing stuff, it feels natural. It feels I can kind of get into the groove quite quickly, and then a couple of hours have passed, and I've put down 4,000 or 5,000 words, and it's kind of it's good. So I'm aiming for about 30,000 as like a whole, and then I'll go back and trim and divide, and hopefully that should get me somewhere between kind of 10 or 12 episodes that I can then work on getting them into a state where I can produce them. But
yay!
That's so awesome.
Thinking 2 months maybe from now, I might be in a position where I can start properly editing and getting an idea of the shape of the thing. But
that's so cool.
Great. Yeah, I'm excited.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, at the moment it's fun. So I'm
that's the important thing that you're having that.
That's the actual only part that matters. Is that you're having a good time.
That you're not dragging yourself as a slog through something, but that it's actually that. That's always the best. That's great. I'm jealous of you in that regard.
It happens all too rarely. I'm just trying to make hay while I can before kind of something else
absolutely
comes in and crushes me. But,
you gotta be there. Strike while the iron is hot, as it were. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Yay.
Okay. I'm gonna do a clean break here so that I can edit this out if it doesn't work. But do you guys want to hear 5 minutes of episode 1 of It Takes a Wolf?
Please, I want to so bad.
Yes. If it starts at the beginning, then this is the 40-minute file that I may not be able to stop. So we'll find out if it works or not.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
There was a hooch cart up this lane, and I ducked under its lean-to privacy wall, planting myself on a seat as another pair of stevedore boots clattered by outside. Behind the bar was a man of perhaps 4.5 feet, and a sword of perhaps 7. One hung on 2 pegs, taking up nearly an entire side of the cart, and one polished the bar. The man was squat, and had the broad, powerful build of an old iron tanker, with a full beard and eyebrows that no self-respecting tanker would have abided.
What can I get you, handsome?
I arched an eyebrow at him, and pointed at my just-been-used-to-break-some-guy's fist face.
Handsome. Really?
He shrugged.
I make my money in tips, so I'm making some assumptions about what's under the swelling. So what can I get you, presumably handsome?
I spared a glance out onto the street.
How much of a tab can I run if I promise to die before I can pay it?
His ale brown eyes narrowed, then flicked out at the commotion starting to rise in the night market.
Who you running from?
Baleful admirers.
With a face like that, I'm still assuming, I bet you have to beat them off with a stick.
Where I come from, that's typically a task for bare hands. Maybe some lotion, if you're fancy.
He smiled at that. It was a good smile, easy and practiced. He must have made a killing. His eyes turned conspiratorial. A glass was set before me, and a slug of clear liquid was poured into it.
If you're gonna die anyway, Might as well take some of this with you.
The good stuff?
For you? Absolutely not.
Good stuff's wasted on me anyway.
I tossed the drink back and let the fumes singe my sinuses from the inside out. Bathtub rot gut, white as the moon and raw as a honeymoon night. The beast happily drank the alcohol straight from my stomach. I set the glass back on the bar. My eyes fell on the sword that hung behind him, 7 feet long and nearly a foot wide from hilt to tip. It seemed impossible for anyone his size to wield it. Below, there was a little brass plaque.
Who's Guinevere, and is she a giant?
The look on his face was of a man whose memories were the stuff of roses and gold.
Ogre, hell of a lot of woman.
And then his face turned sour.
My ex-wife.
Wait, you got her blade in the divorce?
She left it to me in her will. One last insult on my manhood from the grave.
Well, if she was still concerned at the end, then at least your manhood made a lingering impression.
At the end of the cart, the outline of a wall of soot and muscle appeared. And we're not looking in here, not yet. I tried not to glance that way, but the bartender's honey brown eyes smiled at me.
Look, friend, if you go out that way...
One smooth motion of his broad, hairy hand indicated the other end of the cart, which appeared to be blocked by one of the night market walls.
Hug the wall a dozen yards to the right. There's a gap. Even a big lad like you should be able to squeeze through. Put you out in the shadow of the old town church.
Already, I was on my feet.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for the drink.
He waggled the bottle at me and winked.
If you're willing to make this poison disappear, you can come by any time.
I tapped the brim of my cap in silent salute and slipped into the gentle cacophony of the city street. No stevedores in sight. I stretched the muscles of my neck, already starting to tighten like old boat ropes from the beating I'd taken earlier, shoved my hands into the pockets of my stolen coat, and took myself for a walk into the dampening night.
Oh, you successfully stopped the file.
It actually did. It was the right one. It was the correct one. It wasn't the 40-minute full episode.
40-minute one. Okay, bless. Yo, that sounds good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still need some trimming, and I actually have some re-recording to do because I realized my beast voice doesn't work at the moment, so some stuff like that. But yeah, we're making progress. I'm making progress again after 6 months. It's great.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of soundscape are you going to have as this conversation is happening? There's just like bar sounds?
Yeah, so it's going to be distant street noise because they're inside of a small tent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a tent. And then probably some rustling and noise. The big question is actually, I still haven't figured out if I'm going to try putting music underneath a lot of these scenes. So I'm going to have to try it both ways. And then if I do end up doing that way, I'm going to have to pay for licensing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with film noir-y as all this is, some like jazz and horns and stuff like, or sad piano would also really work well for some of this stuff. Yeah, that's the big question, is whether or not there's going to be music. But I have the soundscape pretty well in my head.
Do you plan on doing any sort of, because obviously when you have voices that are having conversations inside of a bar as opposed to like on the street, there's different kinds of reverb and stuff you got to do. What are your settings for your beast voice, like your narration voice? Like, is it going to be like backup kind of in your head, or is it like where are we doing it?
So okay, well there's two. The voice you heard just now in the script is called the narrator.
Yeah.
And that's the narrator voice. So that what you hear there is I'm going to say it's mostly what it's going to be. I'm mostly relying on the presence effect from this mic right here. And so you get that real close in. I'm going to have to do a bunch of cleanup to remove some breath sounds and stuff, but that and a little bit of EQ tweaking. That'll have no reverb or anything. It'll be really clean.
Okay.
The beast voice itself is the same vocal register for me, but I backed off the mic before when I recorded it. So it's the same voice, but you lose some of the like deep
this part
Perfect.
right here. When you back off, it's the same voice, but you don't hear it off the mic.
Yeah.
And when I've heard it now in the cut, the beast doesn't sound big enough anymore. When I
beef that boy up.
when I lose the presence effect on this voice right here and I back it off a little ways, you lose enough of that.
That is so funny.
chest.
It sounds like a whole different size of guy. You're so right.
Yeah. And so I have not yet figured out what I'm going to do for when the beast is out yet. I'm either just going to have to re-record it with the presence back in, and then use reverb and maybe EQ it a little differently to give it that.
Could you double your own voice?
Oh, just drop a second copy.
Duplicate the track and double it.
And I was messing around with that. The not in the section we played today, but the section with the muscle, which Ari was nice enough to record for me. For her voice, I was playing around with some like monstery effects on top of it, drop an octave, double it, do a chorus flanger, stuff like that. Really screw with the EQs and stuff, and a lot of that ended up sounding really artificial. So I'll probably only end up with a kind of a clear cut on that one. But there are options that I can play around with when I get to the beast part. I think I'm probably just gonna have to re-record it with the presence effects in, and then EQ it and probably put some reverb.
Pitch it down like the tiniest little bit, because then it'll be offset to the other voice and it'll give a weird little of those kind of demon-esque sorts of things.
Sure. I might try like the narrator voice is very like it's low and it's growly, but there's not any roughness to it really. So I can also change my vocal posture a little bit and try like going for more of a growl.
That would be so easy to differentiate.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah. It was one of those things like I had an idea in my head the whole time, and then when I recorded it all in one go, and I wasn't listening back. So when I finally have heard them all together, I'm like, I need to retweak it, which is fine. That's how you discover these things. So.
This project is a lot of like separate parts that get recorded separately, and then when you put them together, you go, "Oh, I have to pay attention to like how these relate to each other as well as how they sound on their own."
Yeah.
I have to do so much like where are people standing in the room in 236 all the time, and I have so many different settings for reverbs for like where people are. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There. If you're going to get into reverbs, I've done this a lot where you put the whole scene on a reverb. The very last thing you pipe everything into a bus and then run a reverb on that, and that melds the sounds together and makes it feel very much in situ. It makes it feel like a recording of the location. I might actually avoid doing some of that here because this is so. What's the word? Because it's so narration heavy. If you were switching back and forth between what is almost an audiobook and what sounds like a recording in a space, I might want to keep it a little bit more ethereal. That will be something I'll have to discover when I get into the edit, the actual sound design part of it. And leave it a little bit more abstract, where it's you can kind of tell that these are voices being recorded is fine. And especially if there's music under it. If there's going to be music under it, then I need to make sure my voices are super clear because I don't want those clashing.
Yeah.
So that will depend a little bit on how how the sound design edit gets. And I'm a little ways away from that because I'm going to fully assemble and then do timing cuts on both 1 and 2 before I get into the sound design. Just so that I'm still in the one mode. Before I go back into them. But yeah.
Have you? I can't remember because I know I've talked about this before. Have you actually listened to the Penumbra podcast?
No, I am. If there's an audio drama you can that exists, you can assume that I have not listened to.
Okay.
I'm so bad about listening to other projects. Yeah.
I think that the Penumbra they're also noir, like futuristic noir, and they do a pretty good job of differentiating the narration with the actual when the main character is speaking, and. The voices aren't different, so it's pretty much all reverb and sound design stuff.
Well, and in the past, just doing that mic, the positioning switch, which I've done with other narration stuff in the past, that has usually worked great. It's this one. I was like, oh, this interacted in a way that I wasn't expecting.
It's Twig.
This one time. Oh yeah, hello Twig.
Hi Twig.
He's I don't know what he's wanting, but he wants something now.
I would just with the bringing it back in close to the mic to do the beast, I would be so careful because it's going to be really obvious because nobody else is up close to the mic. It's gonna it's not gonna bother 95% of people, but I think people who do sound design are gonna be like, yikes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to play with it. I'm gonna have to hear it.
Dad.
Twig is poking Scott with his paw, like, "Yo, Dad, hello."
Has it been too long since you've eaten or pooped or something? What's going on, buddy?
He just wants attention.
Yeah,
he
probably.
just loves you.
He's realized that maybe there are people on the screen. Is that what it is? Oh no, you want to smell my breath. Okay. Well, all right. That I think is an episode. So let's set some goals for 2 weeks from now, and then I can feed my dog.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
We really need to switch to video, you guys.
Yeah.
The audience needs this.
Yeah.
Okay, the 1st of May. All right, cool.
Okay.
I should be good for 2 weeks from now.
Okay. 1st of May. No, that'll be June.
No, sorry, June. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay. I was just like,
this is May.
Whatever month we're on, you know.
I don't fucking know, brother. No, you're right. It's the 1st of June.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just was like, I had a moment of like, oh crap.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Is
I
it
was
me?
wrong about many things.
Is it me? No, it is the children who are wrong. Okay.
Yes, it's me who is wrong.
All right. Yeah. So let's see. Let's go in regular order-ish. So I'll go first. My goal will be to have completely finished the assembly of episode 2, which is, I think, reasonable now that everything's set back up and I'm making progress again.
Yay.
And then start make good progress on timing cuts too, where I actually fix all the little weird gaps and get everybody's conversation stuff all worked together. Actually more important than that is re-recording the stuff that I need to re-record. There's a couple of narration bits that are that were recorded not in the right location, and so they sound all weird and stuff like that. And try the beast again, and yeah, that's actually probably the next thing I'm going to do then.
Next base step. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Sam, how about you?
I am going to compile casting info for the paranormal folks, the writers. Because we have a casting call going out probably next week-ish. And I need to read all of my rough drafts that I have received already.
Cool.
Another narration, of course, because that's always happening.
Always.
That's always happening.
Yeah, always happening. Jack, how about you?
I'm just doing like market prep and con prep. So I'm preparing TAFCon prints right now. And that's my big project.
Yay!
Between now and 2 weeks from now.
Yay!
Mike, how about you? You want to set a goal?
Yeah, I'll say that I'm going to aim for another 2 episodes, I think, by the time we record again.
Yay!
Excellent. Yay!
That's probably a good goal.
Zoom in. We love to see it.
Awesome.
just gotta keep it up. Just get past. If I can get past halfway, then it'll start to feel like a real thing, and it'll
feel like you're going downhill. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's always the way.
Yeah.
But if I can get to a point, I can trick my brain into thinking I'm actually going to make this sometime this year. Then that would be nice. So yeah.
We want that for you so bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, then we will catch the audience in 2 weeks. Bye.
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 Bye.